All right, so here we have our pre-trip inspection form. What we need to do before allowing any students to get on the bus is arrive early, first of all, in order to do this. So it'll only take you about 10-15 minutes, depending on the day. Fill out the important information here, the carrier, so driving for Lincoln Christian. Today's date, the time that you are doing this inspection. The bus odometer reading or the van odometer reading, and that can be found on the dash here. Then what we need to do is start to work our way through this list, just visually checking everything. Specifically down here, we do need to check that the brakes are working well. So let's do that now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually fan the brakes. So what we need to actually do is make sure that the bus, in case of an emergency, if that air pressure were to run low, that the bus would automatically engage the emergency brake, and before that, then the emergency air alarm. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the parking brake off. We're going to pump the brakes here so that our air pressure is dropping. Now what we're going to be looking for is that the emergency and low air light is coming on here. We see that in this red circle. And now we're going to wait for the parking brake to shoot out, telling us that the emergency brakes have been engaged and that it'll bring us to a full complete stop. So now it's done that. Now that we have engaged and make sure that our brakes are working properly and that the alarm is working properly, now we're going to give it time for that PSI for our brakes to go back up so that we're ready for our trip. While we do that, let's do a couple things. Let's keep moving forward with our pre-trip check. Let's turn the lights on. We're going to do a walk around, make sure that everything's working. Since we're on the bus, let's also make sure our windshield wipers are working as well, and just make sure that everything is working for us in that regard. Okay, that's working well. Let's head out of the bus and let's do a quick walk around. All right, so now that we're at the front of the bus, let's just make sure that all of our lights are on. Might be hard to see in the daylight here, but just double make sure that our lights are working. Also check the windshield for any cracks. If there are any cracks, please notify the office. Same thing with the mirrors here. Please check these mirrors, make sure that all of them are where you need them to be, so that in case, while you're driving at least, we know that those are there and those are working well. Let's head around the bus here. The next stop is gonna be looking at our tires. Okay, we're going to be looking at how the tread looks on the inside. This is best to do, especially in the morning and late in the evening. Make sure we have a flashlight as well. Check the tire pressure just visually. If it's looking a little low, as this one does, what we need to do is get that filled up a little bit. Check it with the air gauge. Notify the office. We'll do that and get those filled up. As we work our way around the bus then, make sure all cargo storage is locked down so nothing will open up there. Visually check these other tires again. Now as we get to the back of the engine here, we want to take a look underneath, making sure that there's no leaks, oil leaks, any fluids that are leaking out. So let's just get down and take a look here. Once again, making sure our lights are working. And now doing the same thing on this side, making sure that everything's good tire-wise. We also want to make sure that our suspension is good. So that really takes getting down on the ground, taking a look underneath, making sure that our suspension in the back and the air and the brakes and everything is looking good. All the wiring is good. We just want to double make sure for the safety of our kids. Once again, check the hatches. doors. Check our tires once again. All right, still with the pre-trip check, let's turn our hazard lights on. That'll help us know if our turn signals are also working. We'll turn the hazard lights on back behind here. We'll make sure that they're working on the outside just by walking around the bus here. There's two areas we want to check. We want to check the front here. There's actually three. The sides right here, and then the back as well. Okay, another thing that we do need to note is there is emergency equipment in each of these buses. We have a fire extinguisher above the driver here. In some of the other buses, it's either located above the driver's window or it is located down below right here. At least in the white bus, that's where it's at as well. Behind the driver then, either on the left or the right side, then we will also have a first aid kit and body fluid cleanup kit as well. Last thing that you should look for in each bus is then the information for each bus. We have the insurance information in case that would ever be needed. We have some of the driver rule and procedures that you'll be receiving via an email. And then we also, in case of an accident, have any accident injury report forms that you may need. Lord willing, that will never be necessary. Also have auto accident report forms, just so that everything's made simple and available to you. Hopefully we'll never need to use those things, but we do want you to know that those are available in the case of an emergency.